Hi, okay. So I took that break yesterday and I wasn't able to record anymore. So this is the next day. Yes, I'm in the same t-shirt because I like to sleep on this shirt. And you can tell I look a little bit more tired today. Baby is a little sick right now, so she was up a bit last night. But anyway, I want to get right back into it because I might edit this to be one video. I don't know if I'm going to make it two, but um, so I was at the point where, yeah, I should have known. There's so many red flags. I don't know if I was romanticizing the drama or what it was. But, I think I may have said this before in the last thing. But, there's a part of you. It was my ego. Looking back, I know that it's like he's going to change or, I can change him. I'm not gonna, I had never been the one to be broken up with or to fail, kind of in a relationship. I don't know what you want to call it, but I just figured there was going to be change. I don't know why. It's so stupid of me. But yeah, I remember getting to a point, and it was so embarrassing. We'd be out with his friends and I'd see the look on their faces when he would yell at me in front of them for making comments or calling him out on lies. Because it was just at first it was wait, what are you talking about? That's not what happened. This is how it happened. And it, the look I'd get from him, and then I'd get yelled at. And then he'd become more comfortable with yelling at me in front of people. And I put up with it. And it literally, I started to just keep my mouth shut. I started to not say anything. And that's when, for me, I think I started to become spiritually sick because I wasn't speaking out like I would usually. I wasn't being me. I was pushing my natural way I would act and carry myself down in a way to appease him and also to protect myself because I didn't want to get screamed at. I didn't want to get verbally abused and called every disgusting name in the book and be just absolutely yelled at. Horrible, horrible. I had never had anyone ever speak to me like that before. And I don't, again, don't know why I allowed it, but that all aside, I know how all of this sounds. You feel, even so early on, you just feel stuck. I didn't want to change. It's well, what am I going to do? Move out of this life I always dreamed of that I'm not capable of giving myself right now and move back in at 23 with my parents and go back to being a waitress and not having any of these nice things? Well, yeah, that's what I should have done. That's exactly what I should have done. I should have said, no one treats me like this. You can't talk to me like this. I don't care what you're doing to buy my love. F you. Goodbye. See you later. I'm moving back in with my mom and dad. I'll get myself together, and maybe it's going to take a hell of a lot longer to get to here all on my own, but I'm going to do it because that's better than allowing someone to talk to me like this. But I didn't have those tools. I didn't have that confidence. Like I said, I was healing. I was a lost person, and I just latched onto him in his life, and I allowed him to treat me like this. And it was not okay. It was not okay. Yeah, so I started to just not speak up, not say anything, and it killed me inside. It killed me inside. And that's where I think I started to spiritually become sick because I wasn't listening to my intuition, my gut. I was pushing them away. I was silencing that. And I wasn't living in my truth and living in I wasn't being Regina, sadly. So that's when Regina started to slowly shrink out of me. And it took a while. It took a few years. We were together for 2 years before we got engaged. And then I was married to him for a total of 3 years. But the last 2 years were really we were just roommates to a point. He was the abusive roommate, verbally and very mentally and emotionally abusive to me. And then I think that last year, it was just me getting everything ready so I could leave, It took 2 years to get divorced. So those last 2 years, I honestly remember I got my divorce papers. I was already living with my now husband. That's how long it took. Like we had already separated. We had already gone our separate ways. I had already moved out, lived alone in my own place. Sorry, phone call. Lived alone in my own place, started dating, met my husband, dated him for, 9 months before I moved in with him. Like I was already at that point, and it wasn't until like months into being together that I finally got those divorce papers, because we'll get to that point, but like he did everything in his power to prolong that, Even when they don't want to, they still want to have that tight hold on you, right? Anyway, I don't want to get like too deep in, because this video would be like so insanely long if I get into like all the little things, but we had moved to California. We had been there for a little bit, a year and a half. We got engaged. We came back. We got married. We were living, like most people get married, and it's like if you can buy a home, you buy a home, which we could have. You get a place together and you start building your home together, right? You build your life together. No. I don't know what his ambitions fully were, but the lie he told himself in his head and the world and the way he carried himself and what he wanted to be was like this. I still don't even know, but he wanted to be something to do with Hollywood and being in control of people and being like a manager and just like being with the rich and the famous. Like, when you look at Hollywood today and you look at the gross people that are in it, and you're just like all these people that are just like narcissists and psychos that are, pulling the strings behind the scenes. Like not, he didn't want to be like an actor, but he wanted to be like, something else. But he wanted that fame, that fortune. He wanted people to put him up on a pedestal. So of course Hollywood was perfect for him, right? Of course. So the plan was always to go back after we got married. So, he told me that's why we weren't going to rent a place or buy a place, because we're going back there and that's where we'll go. So we were living in one of his family's vacation homes that they only inhabited during the summer months. So we were there. Things were good at first. It was like, wow, we're living in this huge mansion. Like, oh, I hope one day we have a house like this. But the way he treated me continued, got worse. I was so unhappy. I don't even know what we were doing. Like, I didn't have a job. So he was on some like business trip in LA, like setting, it's so funny when I say the things he told me that I was like, okay, like getting everything set up out there job wise, with some company for him. So then we could get ready to move out there. So it was all set up before we moved. And while this happened, I got really sick. And I'm going to try to edit in these photos. If you go to my Instagram, you can see a little reel, and I'll post more pictures, but basically, over the course of 4 days, all of the hair on my head fell out. My eyebrows fell out. I got a horrible, painful, staph-like skin infection of my entire body. Every hair follicle on my body, which we have all over our bodies, was inflamed. My skin hurt. I had scabs and sores on it, on my eyebrows and on my head. It was inflamed. I was so puffy and inflamed everywhere. It hurt to put clothes on. I remember I couldn't wear underwear or bras because like the pressure from anything tight. I would literally just wear big baggy shirts and shorts. I wasn't like talking to my family a lot either, or seeing them. And I think a lot of it was because I was so unhappy. I couldn't fake it in front of them and fake that we were okay and fake a smile, because so many of them told me not to marry him, and they were all right. They saw through all the bullshit. They saw right through him, especially my brothers. They all hated him. And I didn't listen, and I was embarrassed. So I just stopped coming around, sadly. I did, but like not a lot. And then when this happened, because my hair actually started to fall out, and I kept telling myself, like, I don't know what I told myself, but like I was trying to hide it. And then almost all of it fell out like overnight. And I showed his mom, and she was like, oh my God. She got so upset. And he, remember, is in California. So she rushed me to a doctor friend of theirs, dermatologist. I found out I was having a bad bout of alopecia brought on by this skin infection. So I was put on steroids and antibiotics, and it took 6 months or more. I can't remember, but I feel like it took over 6 months for my skin just to calm down and heal. And then parts of my hair started to grow back. It was very patchy. I had to shave my head a few times, which he absolutely hated. Like a normal a good husband who's with you through sickness and health would say, yeah, of course you shave off the uneven hair so it's all even, so it grows back even. Do what you need to do, sweetie. You heal. I'm here. I love you. You're beautiful. Let me support you. No. His mom called him and was like, you need to come home. And he flipped out. We sent him photos of what I was going through, and he was like, I guess I have to come home. And that was the first time that I was like, what? I'm really sick and I'm your wife, and you basically could give two shits about that. You don't care. I was so flabbergasted and so like, what? Like, I couldn't believe that he wasn't going to be there for me, stand by me. And, you know, that was like such a smack in the face. I really expected him to act how you would think your husband would act and be there for you. And nope. He did not care. He was disgusted by me. He was embarrassed to be seen with me when I was sick. He bought me very expensive wigs and wanted me to wear them and to pencil in my eyebrows and put on makeup. And I couldn't because my skin was so inflamed it hurt. And he hated that I couldn't do it. I remember my hair finally started to grow back at our 1-year wedding anniversary. I had like a shaved head almost, maybe a little longer. And I came out, I'm ready. He's taking me to dinner. And I come out and he looked at me and was like, where's your wig? And I was like, I'm not going to wear my wig anymore. It hurts. It's painful. I don't want to wear my wig. I have some hair now and this is me. I accept myself like this and I'm going to show the world this is me now. And he was like, so I have to be the guy whose wife looks like a lesbian, is what he said. I was like, what? Like, I'm healing from being sick. Like, no one's looking at you like that. Like, because he wanted to be the guy who had the hot wife with the long blonde hair, who was like, you know, that like bimbo look that he wanted, just like pretty, skinny, blonde. That's all he wanted. The trophy. No opinion. No voice, which is so opposite of who I was with my voice. I'm so loud and upfront, especially now, like in that I've stepped it back into my power. Like, I do not apologize to anyone for being myself. And that's how it should always be. But it's like, why did you even like me? He only liked the way I looked. Yeah. And, you know, when this was all happening to me after my hair fell out, I cried for like a week, maybe a couple days, 5 days. And then I stood in front of the mirror and I looked at myself and I stopped crying. And I said to myself, I looked myself dead in the eye and I was like, Regina, enough is enough. You cannot spend every day crying and looking in the mirror. Oh, woe is me. My hair fell out. Well, you know what? You're alive. You don't have cancer. You don't have some terminal illness. You're not dying. Your beauty was taken away. Oh, well. Be grateful you're here. It's time to stop crying and stop feeling sorry for yourself and being a victim and to pick yourself up and to heal. Accept yourself for who you are. This is you now. And that was so hard to do. But that's when I started to spiritually heal. So, you know, I was spiritually sick by not listening to my gut and my intuition, and that sickness manifested in the physical form for me. And I truly believe that it was divine intervention by my guides. I truly believe I was never meant to be with him. I was never meant to have that life with him or go down that path. And my guides needed to take a drastic approach. And it was my ego. And I think they needed to strip everything away from me, strip me raw, my hair, everything, strip me down so I could see that I am two things. So I could see that he was only with me for those reasons and I could get out. So I could heal. That's 2, but 3. So I could, and I think this was most important, realize that I was so much more than my beauty. That I was not just pretty on the outside, but I was a beautiful soul on the inside, and I deserved so much more than I was allowing someone to give me, and that I deserved to be happy. And I needed to lose my ego, and that's exactly what happened to me when I shed the old Regina. I shed the hair, I shed the skin, everything was stripped back off me, and I shed my ego. And I lost it because I lost my beauty and I had to learn to just be me. And it took a long time, but I did. And I'm so proud of myself for doing that. And I know my guides are so proud of me too. And I'm actually so thankful for that experience because I never would be who I am now. I would never have lost my ego. I would never have grown in the immense ways I have if that experience did not happen to me. This was also when he started cheating on me. I don't think he did right at first. But I think when he went to LA, because he moved out to California first and left me back to pack up all of our stuff and ship it out by myself, while he went and got our life set up. And then when I came out there, he was in some tiny ass little apartment with a guy friend of his that looked like a frat house. And all they did was like party the whole time. And obviously he was like cheating on me. Side note, he started to slowly lose all of his, not like lose, but like everyone who was a good person that was his friend took a giant step back from him. Nobody wanted to be associated with him. So he started to surround himself with these very young, like much younger than us, like kids, not children, but like, 21-year-olds. And we were like 24. Which, okay, it doesn't sound too young, but they were dumb and impressionable and worshipped him. They put him on a pedestal, and that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted to surround himself with people that would put him on a pedestal, listen to everything he said, yes the hell out of him, not question him, and just follow him blindly. And that's exactly what he did. And they followed him blindly all the way to LA because I don't know what he promised them. Oh, you're going to work with me. I'm going to give you this life. Like, he did have a company set up. I'm not going to talk about it, but that he was doing that tied to the nightlife industry and this and that. And he was really good at, putting up this whole front. I believe now he works with like OnlyFans girls. And I don't know. Someone had told me about pictures they saw of him at like the Adult Film Awards with all these like half naked women that were part of his company. So I'm guessing he started an agency for girls in the industry, and he's probably making a hell of a lot of money off them. And that aligns with exactly the gross person he is. So yeah, we went to LA. And God, it just got so freaking bad from there. It just got so bad. He was so horrible to me. And like while he was cheating on me, he stopped posting me on his Instagram because he was talking to girls on there. So I was erased out of his life. You like didn't know I existed unless you were a close friend and you like came over to our place. He never posted about me. He really didn't like hang out with me or associate with me. He never invited me places. He would purposefully, everything was a business trip or business. So I didn't have to go. But really there was other women there with him that he was cheating on me with. So many over 2 years. I know because I found 2 years worth of photos and videos of him cheating on me. Videos, because he would videotape himself doing this, sleeping with them. Yeah. And then kept them all in little like albums, like a psycho, like his trophies. Yeah. Yeah. And when I found all those, it was the smack in the face and it was the in-your-face evidence I needed to fully leave him because I knew deep down inside what he was doing, but I didn't want to admit it to myself because a little piece of my ego was still there of, he would do this to me? He would do that to me? No way. No way. I'm not going to, no, this is not how this story ends. This is not how it is. He is not doing this, like blah, blah, blah. And I just got weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. I mean, friends of mine told me about how like, I didn't even realize at the time. They'd have plans with me. And because he would do this on purpose, because he wanted to isolate me from my friends and from my family and have me just a shell of who I was so he could control me and just throw me in the corner. If I had plans to do something with friends, which he hated, he didn't want me to have friends and people to uplift me or people to make me realize what was going on and wake me up. He would last minute have something awesome to do and invite me to. And I was so starved for his love and attention that I continuously would back out and cancel on my friends and was just so flaky to them because I didn't see that I was being like that to the few friends I had. It was just like, oh, I'm going to get this love. I'm going to get this attention. I'm going to, here's my opportunity. I get to be involved. I get to be seen. I get to be shown that I'm with him. I'm his wife. So pathetic. So pathetic. Yeah. I remember being so heartbroken when I found, like, I don't even know why, like, who did I love? But I was so heartbroken when I found all of the evidence I needed. which, side note, we had like a really strong prenup, and I wanted in that prenup a clause about infidelity, and I was talked out of it. We signed our prenup on the day of our wedding because we couldn't come to a good agreement, and I just finally accepted and was like, whatever, I'm not marrying you for your money. And even when I left him, he thought I was going to fight him in this divorce for like all this money, and I went, nope. You've hurt me so bad, and I'm so disgusted by you and want to get away from you so bad that I don't care about your money. I just want to leave you and I just want this cord between us cut. That's what I said. I was like, I don't care. I got some money, but I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to fight you like you think. I don't want anything to do with you. And that was so shocking to him. He like didn't believe that was like in me still. Like, once I finally got away from him and I finally confronted him and showed him the evidence I had, which he still denied it, like a true narcissist and liar, believing his own lies, he still denied everything. And then he finally came around and admitted it and then blamed it on me for not loving him or sleeping with him. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to sleep with someone who verbally abuses the F out of me night after night, wakes me up at 4 o'clock in the morning screaming at me, pretends to get in fights because I'm pretty sure you were out cheating on me. So then you'd come home, take my makeup, put on a fake black eye, wake me up at 4 a.m. and be like, babe, I got in a fight. Comfort me, because you probably felt some guilt getting in bed with me after you were out cheating on me. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I believe my guides knew I needed to see hardcore evidence in my face in order for me to really get the strength to leave him. Because at that point it was like, what am I going to do? I'm just going to ignore this? No, I couldn't. So he agreed. And I think a part of him was like kind of relieved I finally found the big secret and he could go on his way too. And then he wanted me back. Then he did a bunch of stuff to try to get me back. After we moved out and I got my own place, he like kept boxes of my stuff. So I'd have to come by his new place. Of course, some big ass fancy place in Beverly Hills, you know, telling me to stay there. I remember there was a one night overlap where I couldn't get into my new place and I had nowhere to stay. I don't know why I didn't stay with like a friend or something. I don't know what was happening, and he tried to get me to sleep at his place and I didn't. We still had our joint place together. So what did I do? I slept with my little puppy dog, who I still have. I slept on our carpeted floor in our closet in our bedroom with towels because that was better than my other options. And then I got my own place, and my friends who were there for me through all of it helped move me in and came and took care of me. These are girls that are still my friends now. They listened to me talk and talk and talk till I was blue in the face for weeks, months probably, over and over. The same story, just talking it out, everything that I went through, until I got to the point where I couldn't listen to it anymore. And like, bless their hearts that they let me do this, because it was how I healed from what I went through. It was so traumatic. It was like I needed to talk about it until I didn't want to hear it anymore, so I could like figure it out and resolve it, and I could be done with it and then move on and slowly start to heal and pick myself back up. I was so skinny at this time. I was probably like, I'm 5'5". I was probably like 100 pounds, maybe under, because I was so stressed out from everything he was putting me through, the verbal abuse, the mental abuse, the emotional abuse, everything that was happening to me. I was a disgusting stick. I remember my boss at the time was like, are you okay? Actually had to pull me aside and ask me like, what is going on? And like I told them. So he did help me to a point, like find a really good job that I had. And I got a raise right when it was time to leave him, which was perfect because it was exactly the money I needed to get myself a place and be able to pay my own bills and be able to actually leave him and no longer be dependent on him. And he was so shocked by all of this. And then he wanted me back so hard, like literally told me my hair had finally like grown. And he was like, oh, well, you're like hot now. I remember laughing in his face too. And it felt so good. I was just like, you're disgusting. Goodbye. And then I had to see him 2 more times to sign some divorce papers. And I was already with my now husband, who is everything I believe he wishes he was. And he was like so jealous and it felt so good. It really did. But it was so hard. It was so hard to get there. I mean, God, I had it really hit some lows in that relationship in order to really see what was happening to me. And like, although I started to slowly heal after like when my skin healed and my hair started to grow back and stuff, and it was like while I started to realize and wake up to things, like I said, I still wasn't. I didn't really fully heal until I got out and was on my own. And I was still healing when I met my now husband, and he really helped elevate that healing process, because then I finally was in a safe space with a man who loved me, who was disgusted by the stories I told him, who supported me and filled up my cup. You know, I was a dead little flower, and he was the sun that came on out and just shined down on me and watered me and helped me bloom into the strong woman and mother I am right now. And although we shouldn't always seek that through another, it helped me a lot. And, you know, that might happen to you, but I needed to start the healing all on my own first. And I even remember things that I like took into this relationship that I was just like I remember there were times where like my husband, like last minute, like when we were dating, like was like, oh, hey, like super last minute, like I'm doing this with my friends. Like, do you want to come? And I was like, oh, sorry, I already have plans with my friends. Like I didn't back out on plans with my friends. I was setting up those strong boundaries. I wasn't being this weak person I was with my last. So there was like so many things I learned, you know, and I was like, no, like I am enough. And if he doesn't see this, which he did, but I'm just things I told myself, like, you know, then goodbye. Even though he's really everything I want, I'm not going to change myself for him. And I didn't have to, which is so great. He accepts me fully for who I am, all the quirks and everything, the total package. He loves it. And that's what we should all have, because there is someone out there that will love you exactly for who you are and will fill you up and water your cup and support you and will not scream at you, will not make you feel guilty for feeling certain feelings or reacting in certain ways. They'll always be there for you. They will have accountability. They will speak up. If you say, hey, what you did upset me, I don't like the way you talk to me, they will hear you out. They will apologize, and then they will work with you to fix it so it doesn't happen again. That's what a healthy relationship is. That's what my husband and I do. We have the most amazing communication, and we hold each other accountable. We don't really argue. We don't really fight that much. And if we do, we apologize and we own up to what we did wrong. I mean, like, that's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be with some like person that you need to change yourself for. No, no way. No, sweetie. No. And whatever you think is so great about him that you're doing this, it's not. There's someone out there that is that times a million, and you won't have to dim your light for them. They'll elevate you. They will support you, and they will love you for exactly who you are and how you are and what you possess and what you have and what you bring to the table, and they will match it. Too many of us just conform to what we think this person wants us to be because we really like them. No, that's not okay. I don't care who they are or what they have. None of it will ever fulfill you. You think it will, and it won't. It will not last. Trust me, it will not last. You need to fully love a person inside and out. Every aspect of them, and especially the big things, how they treat people, how they treat children, how they treat animals, how they treat their mother and their father, how they treat their friends. All of that is very important because that tells you who a person is. And you need to love all those parts of them in order to be with them and share their life with them. And if you are someone that you thought you found that person, and then when it was too late, when you were already married to them, had a baby with them, or tied to them some way, they showed their true colors, or now they've changed, and they are not who you thought they were, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. And it's going to be so hard, but just know that you can be happy. I don't care how old you are. You can be in your 60s. and be thinking, oh my God, I'm married to this type of person and I'm so unhappy. I've been so unhappy for so long. Get out. Even if you had like 5 years left to live, you want to live those 5 years miserable, or do you want to be happy and be proud of yourself for getting yourself out of that situation? For saying, I'm enough and I matter. And I want to be happy and I deserve to be happy. I'll start to talk in my next video of plans you can make, how you can talk to friends or family. My gosh, you can talk to me and lean on me. Go onto my Instagram, send me a DM. We can talk on there. If you need some help, you need some advice, I'm here for you. It's time for you to step into your divine power, become the best version of yourself, and leave every person that is not serving you and is draining your beautiful light from you behind. Get away from them. You need to cut the ties. You need to cut the cords. It is time, and it's going to take some time, and it's going to be hard, but it's going to be great, and you're going to grow so much. I'm here for you. There's so much more I want to say, but I think I hear my baby waking up. That'll be a constant theme here. We'll dive more into it and stuff. Yeah, I have more to say about my relationship, just more things to bring up about different things and flags, red flags and green flags, and just talk a little bit more about that. But then we'll talk about, the tools, things you can do, and then how my healing process after that, like things that I use to help awaken and like just everything that's been happening since. Just know you're not alone. I know there's a lot of you out there, and I'm sorry, but know you're not alone. There's people that were literally like, oh my God, this is how he was to you? Because he put on such a good face. He had such a great mask on. I think of Patrick Bateman, who he like idolized and like loved, like creepy. I think of him about like that mask of perfection and like everything's great and I live the life you wish you had. Oh, you know what's sick too? There were like people who knew his friends and stuff, but like they didn't want to tell me because they didn't want to ruin it. Like ruin what? You didn't want to tell me because you didn't want to ruin my relationship? My relationship was ruined. Hello, he was cheating on me. Why would you not tell me? You should want to tell that person so they can get out and be happy. You're not ruining anything. It's already been ruined. Hello. Just wild. I even had girls. I had a girl specifically hit me up on Instagram and DM me and be like, is this your husband? It took me a long time, but I found a photo of you guys deep down in his Instagram. He's been messaging me. Here's everything he's trying to say to me. He's trying to fly me out to California, wine me, dine me, make me famous. And then she even apologized. I'm so sorry. I hope I'm not ruining your relationship. You hope you're not ruining my relationship? The relationship that has already been ruined and has been a burning dumpster fire? No, thank you for opening my eyes is what I said. I said, thank you. I was like, this is what women need to be doing. We need to help each other. Thank you. You helped me so much. Like, so many things opened my eyes. Sorry, my cat and my dog are like playing behind me. All right. I'll be back. I want to get these videos up as quick as I can and as often as I can, because I do feel if there are people out there using them and listening to them, I know if it was me, I'd be like, oh, I need to hear more. Time for me to go. Remember, you're not alone.